Welcome to another edition of the YoCoryG show where I answer all your fitness questions. Episode 7. I can't wait to get to the questions. Look, I've been answering them from all over the world and I just enjoy being challenged to try to help you. Let's get to the show.
Yo, Cory G, we have our first question here. This person is wondering, what is your take on drinking milk while dieting? Is it good or is it bad?
So this is a question I've had often, but I don't know if I've ever answered it on camera, is can you drink milk while you're dieting? And why do people think you should? Why do people think you shouldn't? I'll tell you why I don't, okay? Two major things. Number one, it has sugar in it. When you drink multiple cups of milk a day, that's gonna raise your insulin a little bit. And some people are so sensitive to a sugar raise that they can't lose body fat. That's number one. Number two, we're the only adult species that I'm aware of that still drinks milk throughout our entire lives, and that's not even ours. It's not like you're drinking your mom's milk at 25, you're drinking a cow's, okay? Let's process that for a second. So there has been an allergy created in our society to dairy over time. Now, a lot of people say, well, I'm not allergic, there's no way. I'll tell you, I bet it's an extremely high percentage of the population is allergic, but doesn't even know they are. So I'm gonna hit on that for a second. How do you know you're allergic? A couple signs are you're bloated pretty often and you don't know why. Your skin's a little scaly, you don't know why. Your stomach's upset, you don't know why. Those are the three signs that you have a food allergy and probably don't know it. I'll tell you, when I cut dairy, meaning cheese, which I love, like everybody, out of my diet, I looked way better on a regular basis. My stomach doesn't bother me at all. Not that it did a lot, but it would just be a little uneasy from time to time. And so, especially while you're dieting, you don't want anything to hurt your gains. So, I would say that's why I don't use dairy while I diet.
Yo, Cory G, we have our next question here from Nash. Nash is wondering, what would you say your 2016 goals are for your 3 core lifts?
Nash. So I feel pretty, what's the word I'm looking for? Pretty set on a couple numbers that I want to do before I'm done. I talked to John Bros about what numbers he had done, and he told me this. At some point you're going to be old and you can't lift heavy anymore. It happens to everybody. You have to be happy with the number that you've got. So right now, my number is, my best squat is 540 at 181. My best deadlift is 585, probably about 195. When I'm 80, that's my number. Am I happy with that? No. I want to say I squatted 600, I deadlifted 600, and I benched 405 pounds. That is my plan. At some body weight, at some point in time, I want to make that happen. Will that happen my next meet? I'm not so sure, but it will happen. So those are the 3 lifts that I'll feel comfortable with saying that I accomplished, really, as I will call myself a power lifter in a fitness model's body.
Yo, Cory G, we have our next question here from Cole. Cole says, I tore my hamstring in track last year and now I can lift heavy again. How should I approach regaining size in my legs?
Cole, what's up, man? Crazy you tore your hamstring. Glad you're back. Here's what I tell you. Anytime you have something that goes through that type of trauma, it's always going to be in the back of your head. I hurt my hip last year. It's still just kind of there. You always have to warm it up a little bit more. You always have to be mindful of it as you're doing any type of rehab, mobility. Sometimes it just doesn't fire the same way. It's always going to be there. But I would, if you're mindful of that, I would do tons of extra GPP work on your hamstring. I would always be doing hamstring curls, always be doing, mobility stuff, or rolling it out, or therapy on it. and always be mindful to now what was a weakness potentially could become a strength. Anytime I've got hurt, beat up, or whatever, I try to take inventory on where I suck at or what I really got to pay attention to more. I would start your workouts with hamstring curls. I'd end them with GHD, sled drags, reverse, anything that hits the hamstring directly, and have a foam rolling thing pre and post. Like, I would dig deep. I'm not the expert on this, but there's plenty of them out there on what you should be doing to make sure that you're taking the proper attention to that injury moving forward so you can regain your strength. I will tell you, check out Kelly Starrett at Mobility WOD. He's got some awesome stuff. There's tons of people online, but I would say you got to take it serious or you're going to end up right back in the same spot.
YoCoryG, we have our next question here from Felix. Felix is wondering if you have any tips on making it through the last couple weeks of prep for a show.
So, how do you make it through when you have a couple weeks from the show? Here's the way I explain it. A lot of people struggle on long diet phases. That's why with anabolic fasting, I enjoy keeping it like a month to 6 weeks out. If I really got to dial it in. Now I'm going to go in a lean bulk here, so it might be up to 8, but I really don't want to get into that 12 range because it's a long time, man. And so if you're 2 weeks out and you're questioning how you get through it, I would say that's a little bit of a problem. Now I will tell you, at 4 weeks out, to me it could feel like that because it's still not close enough that you can get excited. At 2 weeks you should be excited because you're at the end. 2 weeks is not that long. This week it's through. Next week it's the week of the show. And I'll tell you that you can't, like, the dial in 2 weeks mentally and not be stressed is so big because your body will change just enough. Like, the metabolism is at the highest point a couple weeks before the show. For you to dial it in and not screw it up, you can't look at the glass half empty. It's got to be half full. You follow me? Like, you got to be looking at it like, damn, I'm almost there. I'm going to put in this extra ab work. I'm going to make sure I get my cardio, whatever thing you're following right now. I'm going to make sure, not do anything drastic, just let the process take care of itself to dial it in for this event because I'm excited. That's where it needs to be. If it's not that way at 2 weeks, I think you got to check yourself a little bit on what your prep looks like and maybe how you can do some things differently. Because I'll tell you, at 2 weeks, I'm pumped. Because one, that hardcore discipline is coming to an end. So I can drink some beer on Saturdays and be, I would say, kind of normal, whatever that really means. At 4 weeks, I feel you. At 2 weeks, I'd check yourself a little bit. Maybe you need to tweak some things. So, if you're watching this right now and now you're a week and a half out, get excited on this accomplishment that you've created, because I'll tell you something. When you compete, powerlifting, Olympic lifting, CrossFit, bodybuilding, doesn't matter, it separates you from a person who just lifts weights and now a competitive person in the community, and that's a really cool thing to be proud of. So, good luck at your competition, and hopefully that helps.
YoCoryG, our last question here is from Grayson. Grayson says, training the abs in a 20 to 30 rep change is good for conditioning and endurance, as well as looks too. But is it good to vary it just as much and change up the load with lower repetitions to help build the core stronger? Can the two methods be combined daily?
Grayson, what's up? Shout out to the OVAC, Ohio Valley. Grayson, my man, pulls like 6, I hope I don't mess this up, Grayson. I think it's like 660, 6'7". Dude's strong as all get out. But part of the reason why he's strong, guys, is because he's asking this question about the rep ranges and abs. Grayson, you know we always train our abs heavy. You've been to the gym before. But yeah, I would do the high rep stuff at night, like we talked about with the weighted crunches. We're doing lower rep stuff in the mornings now, especially on Get Stack 16. Or we're adding ankle weights to our lower abs for toes to bar. You can also do, I mean, dude, I've went up to 45 and 50 pounds for weighted crunches for sets of, 10. Weighted cable crunches for sets of 5 before. So keeping rep ranges different is important no matter what you do. I think there's also something to be said for why not just no weight and knock out 100 crunches just from an endurance standpoint. So I know the way you want to look because we've talked. If you want to look that way, you always have to keep the rep ranges changed up. I will tell you the lower rep ranges will make them thicker But from an endurance standpoint, if you're just at a long meet all day and your body's getting tired, it doesn't hurt to throw in some high rep variables for sure. So thanks for the question, Grayson. You just got done watching the YoCoryG show, where I answer all your fitness questions. Look, if you want to be on the show, because I heard you wanted to be on the show, hashtag YoCoryG, Twitter, hit me on Snapchat, hit me on Facebook. I love helping you guys out, and I love just doing the show in general. So if you want to be on the show, you better make sure and hit me up.